Fryer from Harvard, who conducted it, black professor.
The stat is skewed.
It's not skewed. These are from the FBI, DOJ. And you know what else we look at? We look at Roland Fryer from Harvard, who conducted it, black professor, really respectable guy, honorable man, conducted a study, and he came out and he said, yeah, all of my research says that black men are 0% more likely to be shot by police officers than whites. Black people got so mad at him, he reconducted the study, a black man from Harvard, and he came to the same conclusion, and now he's not black enough.
Wait, so let me...
That's a damn lie. That's a damn lie. The study he's talking about, the reason why people criticized it, because it was selected bias. So there was a recent study that happened that showed that black people in America are 3 times more than likely to die by a police officer than white Americans. A more recent study. You can't even really get down to really get in your bag to really destroy white people's arguments, because they all are built off of lies. It's like, I don't have to say nothing. All I gotta do is fact check it. That's it. Just fact check they lies. Yeah. Let's go.
Let me see if I understand you clearly.
Yeah.
You're saying, according to this guy's statistics, right, that black people are...
I was like, I must have woke you up. Mike Brown, obviously George Floyd, there were so many that you could use as examples. We thought that we'd have a rash of body cam footage showing us the police brutality. Yeah. You haven't seen body cam footage of note in the last year. Once that footage came out, it's about a 20-to-1 ratio where you see someone getting violent with an officer.
Body cam. Not seeing body cam footage doesn't prove your point. Not seeing it proves the point. A criminal, why would a criminal give you footage of him committing a crime? A criminal doesn't do that. Why would they do that? The only thing it will make a criminal do to upgrade your security system is to make him a better criminal to not get caught. That's all the body cam footage did. They just know when to turn it on and when to turn it off. That's what it did. And they will only allow you to and it would make it obvious that if I was a criminal, I would give you evidence to show that I am not guilty, even though I am. And ask yourself this. This is my question for y'all, is this. When police officers are in a case of police brutality and they said, oh, well, we forgot to turn on the camera. We forgot to turn on the body footage. Why, when somebody come and break in your house, they will probably destroy the camera first? Why also is criminals masked up? See, that makes me to ask the question, why come police officers never just have the footage with them committing something, doing something bad? There's never the footage of them being guilty. However, also ICE agents is always masked up. See, they look like they're criminals to me. They follow the same tactics as criminals. Body cam footage, not seeing body cam footage doesn't prove that the victim is the aggressor or in the wrong. It proves that we're dealing with a good criminal.
Officer. We have not seen what we thought we would see. And now people are going, okay, so maybe not the body cam footage, right? We thought we'd see all the abuse.
Wait a minute. Before you jump off of that point, what about the body cam footage where we see white people and white police and the white citizen is being belligerent with the police, but the police showing extreme restraint in dealing with that person. Whereas black people, we reach for your wallet, bow, you get shot. I got a phone in my hand, bow, you get shot.
And I'm
not doing anything, and bow, you get shot.
The stats don't reflect it, but white people are being killed in record numbers right now, and they're pissed.
That is a damn lie. The stats do show it. Black people are 3 to 4 times more likely to be killed by a police officer than white people. That's a fact.
And if you keep just not listening to them, look, like you said, white people are the majority of this country. You have young white people who are getting more and more mad. I'm just telling you the truth.
What they mad?
And they have the guns. They're mad because this thing. Here's why. Here's why. They go, look, I'm 12 times more likely to be killed by a black person than you are a white person. And you go, well, that doesn't count. They go, look, my dad's business got burned down. Yeah.
All his points are lies. White people, first of all, black people are 3 times more than likely to die by a white person than vice versa. White people are in danger when they're either by themselves because they're leading in suicide, or when they're next to other white people. Y'all never learned from Charlie Kirk? I mean, damn, do we have to look about the history about America and all the wars it had, all the wars that happened in America? White on white crime, just in America alone. See, if you really want to save your white children's lives, then you probably should just take guns away from other white people, including your child. Because if you leave that gun next to your child, statistically, they're going to use it on themselves. Statistically. I'm starting to feel bad for you white people. I really am. Because, damn, I know you love guns so much, but if you left alone with a gun, you might use it on yourself. You love guns so much, you don't lose it on yourself, your brother might use it on you. Listen, that's how I know it's not about crime. White people don't care about crime. They don't. They don't care about, white people do not care about their lives. It's not about them feeling safe because they rather be in danger than somebody take away their rights. They just want somebody else to have no rights. Like, I can't understand it. They want their children to be safe. The number one thing that will make their children safe if they had gun control, they would not allow that to happen because their rights will be infringed on. So they don't actually care about their children. They just want to make sure that other groups, other races, don't have the same liberties that they do.
And where?
My city got burned down. I've been accused of being a racist, even though I'm not. And I'm looking at this right now, and I'm not allowed to
Your city was burned down because of other white people.
have an opinion, and I can't go into certain neighborhoods because I get my ass kicked. And then you just say, yeah, but you've had systemic power. That is a surefire way to.
How can white people have no opinion when they own the media? They're in charge of every outlet, and you're saying white people can't have an opinion? Are you kidding me? White people are upset because how dare somebody stop them from saying nigga at work? I mean, damn. You would think white people understand, look, man, we did build our wealth off of their backs and left them with none. We did, lynch them and buck break them and, separated their families. We did eat them. We did throw their children for gator bait. I mean, goddamn. And to be honest with you, they still ain't got no white fatigue. At least what I could do is not say nigga. At least. But white people, the greatest mistake that ever happened in American history is the Union not destroying the South. The Union should have burned down every single thing in the South. Every single thing. And because they didn't, the Confederacy is back alive today. And white people are being oppressed because somebody is not allowing them to be racist. Somebody is not allowing them to harm somebody. That's what make white people oppressed. They're mad because they can't say racist things at work. Just like the Confederacy was mad from the North, from them feeling like the North was going to take their slaves away. They ain't fought an entire civil war because they thought the North was going to take their slaves away. They called it oppression. Y'all niggas are sick.
Let's be frank about that, Steve. Now, first of all, here's why I disagree with you emphatically, right? Number one, when it is historically proven when there are riots, and this is the crazy part, most times we as blacks, we tend to riot in our own neighborhood for the same reason why we're not 12 times likely to kill a white person, because of that fact that the penalty is going to be much harsh, okay? If black people were really the kind of threat and menace to white people as we're going to sit here and say that they are, never mind the stats, there's no way in the world that most of us would still be here, because guess what? You guys will find a way to deal with the problem if it is from a multiplicity of angles, all right? So, like I say.
And what he's saying is fact, because his whole entire point is from one white woman dying by a man who has a mental health disorder. One white woman. Like, white people do not care about other white people. Charlie Kirk died because of another white man, and they're not doing nothing about it, and somehow they still are talking about black people. Please, 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 you white people, help other white people. Y'all need to have better, white people's culture values are wrong. White people culture in its entirety is sinful. Y'all have a bad culture. Y'all don't care about each other enough. You're always killing each other and just arguing and fighting. Y'all culture values are bad.
What I'm saying is right now, when it comes to
we did deal with it.
who
We gave
controls
you-
that narrative, Steve?
We did deal with it. You know what we dealt with it in liberals in blue cities? Cashless bail, catch and release. We did.
Another lie, cashless bail, catch and release is not having people commit more crime. White people want credit for not fixing a situation. They want credit on just doing something that has no benefit. If you arrest somebody, if somebody get arrested because he stole a slice of pizza, because he's starving, and you like, you know what? We're just gonna have cashless bail, let him out. Then he goes and steal some more food because he's still starving. And you say, see, the justice system reform ain't working. The prison system reform ain't working. We try to help you out. Y'all just bad choices. The root of it is that he's poor and starving, you idiot. Somebody help me, man. Good night.
Did everything that was demanded. Defunded the police in certain neighborhoods. Guess
But
what?
no blacks have asked for defunding the police
Oh, yeah.
officers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, here's the deal.
Now, I will say it's mostly.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's mostly black women. It's mostly black activist women. And
Yeah,
that's what they're not representative of black men. I get that.
Just like the guy who killed the lady on the bus that you were talking about earlier, right? He doesn't represent black America and what he did. I mean, listen.
Here's where he does. Just listen to me here. Here's where he does.
And what he's saying is so absolutely correct because he's using their hypocrisy. You calling white people racist and based on white people say pattern recognition. All the crimes they did in the past, the crimes they did yesterday. You're like, you know what? These people got bad culture values. These people might be evil. And they said, man, not all white people are racist. Not all white people are racist. However, a black man who is sick kills a white woman on a train station that white people do not give a damn about. Oh, blacks are the issue. Blacks are the issue. Let me tell you something. There's nothing that a black person could do in America that will make white people love you. If black people did no crime, if black people did nothing at all, white people will still find a way to kill you. They would just lie and say you whistled at a white woman. They would just make it illegal for you to eat vanilla ice cream. They would just make crazy things illegal. They would kill you for looking them in the eye.
Here's where he does to a lot of people. This is what I'm just trying to, because last time I sat and listened, but I want you to hear something really important. Here's where he does. Young white, that person's parents, that person's relatives, look at it and go, wait a second. This guy was out 14 times, and the reason he was out 14 times was because a black female judge, in the name of restorative justice, who has received funding from NGOs, said, we're going to have cashless bail and catch and release and the IOU policy in the name of racial justice. So people are going, my daughter's dead because it would have been racist to keep this guy in jail. You need to understand.
How about y'all take your own advice? I'm with you. If criminals was in jail like they're supposed to, people with issues, this world would be safer, but that's a problem that y'all are known for. Let me give you some names. Peyton Gendron. Meanwhile, this white man's talking about white people are fed up. I guess Peyton Gendron was fed up because what he did was kill 10 black people in a supermarket. But guess what? He was being investigated prior for making threats at school. How about we'd have been like, you know what? Well, we should do something with him. He is a young white male in America making threats to school. We should do something based off of history. They didn't do nothing. And 10 black people died going grocery shopping, not worried about white people at all. How about black people start having white fatigue? It might save our lives. How about we just understand that we are more danger at a supermarket when a white boy arrives? I'll give you some more. I'm going to give you other people who killed people who should have been locked up. I'm going to give you a couple names. Robert Card. Robert Card killed 18 people. And his family said the exact same thing. He said, you know, his family and his colleagues warned people about his threats, and they didn't take him in. And Maine's commission said that they had probable cause. They didn't take him in. Anderson Lee Aldrich. And all this stuff you could Google. This is in this, but in the span of 5 years, the last 5 years, he was arrested in 2021 for a bomb threat, a hostage incident. The charges was dismissed. 1 year later, he killed 5 people at a club. How about y'all white people take your own advice and start locking up white people? It might save some lives. I'm gonna give you another one. Connor Sturgeon. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Who gives a damn? He killed 5 coworkers. And guess what? He also had mental health issues and prior warning signs. But he was never detained. They never blocked him from gun ownership. And let me give you something that hits worse. Something that hits harder. Black people, not black. The white people who do the most crime have no prior criminal record. I wish Charlie Kirk was here today to say he agreed with me, because I know he would have. These white boys who are committing violent crimes, racists and mass murderers, have no criminal history. That's dangerous. It's dangerous. And I'm with his point about saying that that woman's daughter had to die from a death that could have been avoided. I mean, damn, who knows that better than, a mother who lost her son because a white woman lied and said that he whistled at her. Damn. Or somebody said, my son died because he had a hoodie on and Skittles. My son died because he went jogging in the wrong neighborhood. My son died because he had a toy gun. My son died from obeying police orders. My daughter died from sleeping in her bed. My son died because some woman thought the house she went to was her house and shot that man. And let me tell you something. That judge for Botham Jean, the case about Botham Jean, that judge hugged that woman. That black judge hugged that woman. See, black people have been experiencing violence from white people for hundreds of years. I ain't never heard some white person said they had white fatigue. You white people should be ashamed of yourselves. You done killed the people. You done murdered and raped and pillaged the people. You stole everything from them. You put crack in their neighborhoods. You separated their families. What didn't you do to them? And you have the nerve to say you have white fatigue? How about you do what black people have been doing for all these years and forgive black people? You better forgive black people for everything you hate them of, everything they do that you hate them for. You better forgive them. You better do what black people do. Just pray for them. Pray for them. You better do that. Or unless you are not as good as black people. If white people can do that, black people are better than you. They're better than you.
that,
flawed
right?
judgment.
But you understand it though, right? Because you just made those same judgments
Yeah.
about people who existed 150 years ago.
Yeah. But
This is someone's sister.
Her flawed judgment.
You need to tell white people to have that compassion. You white people don't care about white lives. White people do not care about white lives at all. They don't. I'm trying to let y'all know they don't, man. You white people. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna keep saying, I probably said it the third time in this video. White people wouldn't sacrifice their guns if it made sure their kids were safe. See, nothing, all this has nothing to do with safety. All this is to make sure that Black, Latinos, and Native Americans don't have rights. We're going to make sure they harmed. We're going to make sure that we take all their rights away while we don't sacrifice our rights for our children's safety. He said it's somebody's daughter. Yeah, no shit. Tell that to your family members. Tell that to your people. Tell that to all these white men who are leading in child pedophilia. He support Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, good night. Donald Trump is a pedophile. Donald Trump has been convicted of sexual assault by 2 juries. And he said, man, that's somebody's daughter, man. Yeah, no shit. That crazy bitch you said she was called, that's somebody's daughter, man.
Does not represent the opinion of Black people, number one.
There you go.
It represents
Number
a
two,
systemic correction.
Well, let's talk about systemic correction. And you know what the problem really is? When you defund, you constantly get bombarded with the excuses, all right? When you really come down to it, let's be honest, man, and let's be really truthful with one another. Ask yourself, what do you expect when you look at architectural oppression, economic depravity, and social disparity? What would you call it? I mean,
Bad decisions.
Huh?
Bad decisions.
Bad decisions.
Yeah, I think.
Bad decision. This whole entire thing is about Black people not taking accountability. And you're saying that all this systematic oppression, it doesn't matter. Black people just make bad decisions. It's you literally not taking accountability. It's literally you not taking accountability. Black people are not poor because of bad decisions. Black people are poor because of evil decisions white people made, then turned around and called it policy. Let me tell you something. 70% of wealth is inherited, not earned. After World War II, 98% of home loans went to white people, which is where most wealth is coming from today that white people have. Also too, if I can help you white people out as well, I'm gonna tell you how bad racism is. You redline Black people, which made their property value trash. You waited till you build up equity in your home and say, well, you know what? Redlining was wrong. Let's fix it. And pass something that seemed good. Like, you know what? Let's take away redlining. And guess what that did? Because white people was getting equity from their homes being in those good neighborhoods, they was able to take that equity out and buy cheap property in Black neighborhoods because of redlining. And Black people couldn't compete because their house was worth nothing because of redlining. Racism is so far in America where even trying to fix it cause more harm. Black people are not poor because of bad decisions. They're poor because of white people's decisions. Today's wealth comes from yesterday's racism.
I think right now in 2025, it's bad decisions. I think everyone can make better
And
decisions.
you know what? I'll even go here with you. In all fairness, I think that's absolutely true. So my question.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Black people are being sold a pipe dream. See how he's so honorable? He's like, you know what? It is my fault. It's my fault I've been molested. It's my fault my people was enslaved. It's our fault. We need to have accountability. we make bad decisions. White people tell that to black people and then live the complete opposite. White people have no accountability. They believe they make no bad decisions. If they don't give a job, it's because of reverse racism. If they don't get inside of a school they wanted, it's reverse racism. If they're poor, it's because the government's oppressing them. If a white man shoots a white man, it's not because he's white. It's because he was a liberal. It's because he was a Republican. They take no accountability. Blaming other people in America is how to be rich. How to be rich. The Great Depression happened, they blamed Mexicans. They shut them off, then asked for them back because it wasn't Mexicans' fault. It was the fault of white decisions. But they complained and complained and complained, and they get things done. All white people got to do today is complain, and then they get everything handed to them. Why shouldn't I complain?
Question for you is, how do we move past this?
Yeah. Okay.
How do we move past
I agree with you. I agree. And I think maybe we'll find some common ground here. If we agree there is personal accountability and bad decisions, and I think we also all agree that feminist white are the worst demographic in the country, along with lesbians.
There's a great book that says that they were her product. See, that's what I'm saying.
Like I'm telling you, believe me, I don't have hold on. Let me just clarify, and I mean that. Angry white feminist bitches and lesbians, because if they didn't vote, we wouldn't have half of the shit. But, and this is one thing I appreciate about black men, that white men are black men can talk about these things, and black men are okay being masculine. White men are told it's sexist. There's a lot there. Personal accountability decisions.
Yeah, black men can talk about this. White men can't. White men will just shoot you at a PWI in front of other white people. That's how white people solve issues. You're right. Think black men, because they obviously could sit here and have a conversation with a racist man, and he don't have to worry about getting shot. Charlie Kirk, when he used to go to those colleges, he had a security team. This white man is here right now, amongst all of these black people with no security team, while he's saying that black people are dangerous.
Now, just take that and apply it. What you kind of just did here is you blamed white people, without realizing it, for systemic discrimination, and that removes autonomy from a white person to be accountable and also rewarded for their good decisions. So if we agree it's bad decisions, personal accountability, we'd all be against reparations, and we'd all be against the criminal justice reform.
I'm definitely for reparations.
So this is what it's about. They want black people to stop complaining about crimes that they did. White people today is trying to erase white history. And white history is the history of a villain. White people don't want to pay reparations. Are you un-American? Paying reparations is what America does. It's a value that America holds. You being a taxpayer, you know how much money you pay for things that you're not responsible for? Those veterans and the dependents, they get money from your money. Nobody asked. I didn't ask no veteran to go and fight for my freedom. I didn't ask them to do it. I'm not responsible for that. How come I got to pay tax dollars? Why am I paying tax dollars to a veteran's descendants? They never fought in no war. It's not my problem they made that bad decision. I got to pay money for them. And you know what's funny about it all? In America, if a person dies with debt, their family pays it. You white people, your ancestors owed a debt, and they died. So somebody has to pay for it. That's how life works in America. You taught me that. You taught me when my poor grandfather dies and all these bill collectors coming to collect things that he can't pay for because he's dead, I'm responsible. Now you be responsible. Now you be responsible. And I'm going to tell y'all another thing too, another point. America America's citizenship to black people is their excuse to skip reparations. When I'm saying reparations, I mean amending wrongs, fixing things. They're like, to white people, they should have been forgiven of slavery and all the oppression right when black people got citizenship. To white people, they believe that black people should just be happy there in America. Giving black people citizenship to white people, they believe that's the greatest gift under the sun you can give to somebody. So they treat us like another nation. They treat black people like enemies. But when it's time to pay them like they will pay their other enemies, America pays reparations to other countries that they harm, their enemies. They give them money. They give money to their enemies. America harmed black people. They can't give them money, though, because we're one family. We're all Americans, right? We all Americans. Get the hell out of here, man. And y'all don't believe me. In 1948, the Marshall Plan sent the equivalent of $173 billion today to rebuild Western Europe, including Germany, the nation that America fought. The idea of rebuilding enemies was good for democracy. Yet, white people have been enemies to black, Latinos, and natives, while they were not enemies to them. And we don't get no money. I think black people, they probably just not evil enough for money. I think that's the issue. Black people just don't do enough. I see America gives billions of dollars to Israel to watch Israel bomb kids. To bomb kids. You better thank God black people in America don't do what they have to do to get that money.
So
See, that to me, you said excuse.
Yeah.
That sounds like an excuse to me.
You ain't paid me back. You ain't paid me for what you owe me.
He's saying it's an excuse. You are literally giving me an excuse to why you're not paying me. It's an excuse. To say that your great-grandfather, let's play this scenario. Your grandfather owes me $100 million. Your grandfather owed my grandfather $100 million. They both die. Your grandfather, instead of giving the money that he would have paid my grandfather, so my grandfather could give me the money, he gives it to you. And I said, hey, man, that's supposed to be my money. Our grandfather did a deal. And you say, no, he's not alive. I can't give it to you. He's not alive. I don't know what he would have did with it. You're making an excuse. You're making an excuse right there. What the hell?
What did I take from you?
You can't start another bill
What did I take from
until you pay this old bill.
What did I take from you?
You didn't take but your ancestors.
But you just said you.
When I say you, I meant it as a euphemism.
But can you understand why white people hear it and get pissed?
What you say? What did he take from him? You took my entire life. You took my happiness. That's what you took. You're living a life that you don't deserve. White people are living good lives today, and they don't deserve it. They never worked for nothing they did. You right there talking to black people working at a job that they had to work 10 times harder than you. You said, what did they steal? What did you steal from them? You stole privilege from them. You stole the ability for black people not to work as hard.
Off.
Yeah.
Because I can take shit.
But they're not mad about the advantages that were built into their lives.
So you want young people to pay? Sounds like an excuse.
Nobody wants to address. And they need to go from here on, and that is. And then they turn around and tell us,
Loyal in what way?
Stop asking about reparations. Whenever we want to ask for equality and fairness, it's a problem. So white America.
So it spends several $1 trillion. When is it enough?
That is a lie. America has never spent several $1 trillion on black people. What he's talking about is federal spending on anti-poverty programs like welfare and food stamps and housing assistance. Those programs are not for black people. They're for poor people. And the recipients are mostly white. And you talk about welfare and assistance, black people couldn't get those things unless they sacrificed their family structure. So now the woman has to really, now she has to be like, man, if I want aid from the government like all other poor white people get, I either gotta choose to either not get it and keep my man in the house who can't get a job because of racism, or kick him out for my children to eat. Which one should I pick? Which one will white people pick? And at this time today, and what's so funny about all this is that black fathers are still better than white fathers. Not even living in the same house. See, they want to make it seem like black fathers are not in their children's lives because they don't live in the same house. Black fathers are more in their children's lives than white fathers. Just because you live in a different house don't make you not in a child's life. It's a white concept. So when he says trillions went into white households. And another thing too, America's total wealth today is roughly around 30 trillion. At least 2/3 of that can be traced to black labor and creativity directly or indirectly. The nation's first great fortunes was built off of centuries of unpaid slave labor. Cotton by itself financed Wall Street. Then Jim Crow kept labor cheap because of sharecropping and convict leasing, making money off of black people while you denied them ownership. What are we talking about? And throughout the 20th century, housing discrimination, redlining, unequal wages transferred billions of dollars from black people to white. Meanwhile, black creativity, black innovation, music, fashion, athletes created global markets worth trillions, and white corporations captured the profit. Black hands have built the wealth of America, and you have black fatigue.
Spend $7 trillion on what? What did they spend it on?
Let's go back to Lyndon Johnson model.
Lyndon Johnson, you're talking about the war on poverty? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
1965?
Why was that done?
All right, but here's the deal.
What about the Department of Education?
Here's the deal. So now you're saying the Department of Education. Let's go back to the Department of Education.
Okay,
You gotta
so
take it all
but my
the way-
point is,
Stop,
these
Steve.
were, hold on, no, I didn't answer your question.
All right.
The reason that this was given, right, when you're talking about the Great Society program, the reason when you look at the Model Cities program, urban planning, $8 billion into Detroit, adjusted for inflation, the reason that, and I don't know if you know this, black students in this country get more spending per pupil than white students. I don't know if you know that. That's an actual fact. Even in
That is a lie. He's lying through his teeth. He's a damn liar. White students get more funding than black students. White districts receive, on average, about $2,000 more per student than non-white districts. Why? Because most school funding comes from local property taxes. And black people don't live in good neighborhoods because white people redlined them. White people created the ghetto. And you want to talk about the school system? And another thing too, most Pell Grants and federal student loan recipients are white people. So what are they talking about?
state could do a much better job, but those were done in the name of racial reparations because they were demanded,
Steve,
and now it's not enough.
Listen, you say that, but Steve, listen.
What was
you
that?
say we should suspend the Department of
I agree with you, because it's so. Why would they do it
It's not
correctly?
because it's not just because it was done in the name of racial justice that it was done incorrectly.
That's the reason for it.
I'm saying that's the reason for it. But along the way of trying to achieve racial justice, you just did it wrong.
But let me ask you,
That's my point.
You said
People did it the way we were
The
asked.
reasoning was right. Your approach was wrong.
So now you make some 20-year-old kid pay?
No, but you came out and said something
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Just like other 20-year-old kids pay for things they're not responsible for. Just like our tax dollars are going to Israel for them to kill kids. Exactly.
Can't go to
Hold on, I'll answer the question. Because then I'll show you an example of something that actually works, because we need solutions. They're across the board down. In other words, $3 trillion, test scores are worse. And they're even worse in poor areas where there's more spending. Do you know where black students in New York City actually do really well? White Catholic schools, where they have more students per teacher, on average 35 plus. In other words,
Don't all schools have more students per teacher? You white people, y'all get all this hype around y'all, and y'all supposed to be educated. And more I hear y'all talk, it's crazy. Aren't schools supposed to have more students than teachers?
What I'm saying is, here's something where we could find common. I've proposed this, many people have, where we go, look, instead of giving money to a school, like you say, some of these schools suck, right? Instead of just putting, let's say the average spending is $15,000 per student. That's a rounded number. It's anywhere from 13 to 50, okay? If instead of putting that money in the administrative costs at a school, what you do is you say, okay, that's a grant, that's a voucher that attaches to the student, and they can take it to any school they want, so they have to compete. So that kid can now choose where they go to school. Can't do it because it's racist.
But
That's why.
I'm gonna tell you why. This is what white people are trying to do. White people has always just trying to never fix their issue and actually just hide behind a solution that would just still benefit them even more. This is how the game works. You redlined black neighborhoods, you made them poor. And why you made them poor? Because property taxes pay schools, local property tax. These schools are underfunded. Well, now you're saying, well, just go to a better school. So this is what we should do, just give them vouchers instead of using the money that they will receive that goes into the school, just give it to them to go get a voucher. And from your view, like, oh, that's smart. I'm gonna tell you how deep racism goes. This is what's gonna happen. First, that voucher, he's gonna go into another school, try to go to another school, another private school. And that private school is gonna deny him. It's gonna deny him. And they don't need to say why they're gonna deny him because it's a private school. So then he's just gonna go back to the school. Now, if they did accept him, the tuition is more than just the voucher that he has. The reason why he's in public school is because he's poor already. So he's gonna have to go back to public school regardless. But who's able to go to these schools? White people already who have a lot of money. Same people is gonna be accepted. The same people could actually afford to go to the school. So you're going to take money from public schools that they already don't have to fund white private schools. It's the same loop over and over again. Same loop. When integration was forced, white people just left and went to private schools, and that way they was saying that they wasn't running from integration. They just wanted to go to a private school, and that private school got all the money and left the public schools poor. It's the exact same cycle. They say they're trying to fix that by doing it again. But it seems a little better, right? On paper.
Running out, and you can't escape the violent. Young people who have nothing to do with any of this, their guilt is running out, and you can't escape the violent murder rate. You can't escape them losing opportunities and being blamed for being racist when they're not.
White people are not missing out on opportunities. That's a damn lie. How can they be missing out on opportunities when every seat of power is majority white? They're not getting into the job they want or to that school they want because they're just not good. That's it. And there's no crime happening to white people by black people. Black people are 3 times more likely to get killed by a white person than vice versa. White people are just scared that karma might be coming tomorrow. White people live every day in fear of judgment because they know it's old. So all of this victim mentality they have is because, like, damn, ain't no way we got away with murdering as much people as we did. Somebody might come and harm us from harming them. And they scared of me. That's what all this is about. I think that's pretty much it, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. I might split this. It might be part 3. I think I've been doing this for 2 hours. These talking points is crazy. It was an hour video, so I probably did this for about 2 or 3 hours. Probably gonna make 3 videos about it. But anyways, it was a big episode of God Bless America, man. Like, share, subscribe, and tune in when we drop another banger.
And I'm proud to be an American.